this is going on right now?
Yes.
This is Tucker being informed that kids are still, who now? Like, when you see someone wearing a mask now, do you sort of think, oh, God? You think, oh, no, come on. Like, if you see someone on an airplane, you think, look, I'm a man of the Lord. I want to love you and be open-hearted, but you're wearing a mask. Now, unless you're a vigilante fighting crime in Gotham, take that fucking thing off.
It's vastly underreported, which I have seen firsthand. Because
but it's been in place for 50 years or something. I mean, it's longitudinal, so we can see the response to all these different medications, right?
According to VAERS, there have been 38,000 deaths from these COVID shots. So under normal circumstances, the FDA would have pulled it. But instead, they've doubled down. They've put the shots on the childhood vaccine schedule. All babies are expected to get 3 COVID shots by the time they're 9 months old. The shots are still under EUA status for this age group. So under 12, they're not even fully approved by the FDA, and yet they're on the vaccine schedule. And according to the CDC, 9 million American children have gotten the latest version of these COVID shots.
Actually?
Yes.
Still?
Yes. 9 million. 12%. The concern I have with these kids, so we know myocarditis.
Wait, this is going on right now?
Yes.
I think we voted against this.
Yeah.
Correct?
I don't know.
You're very diplomatic. But I'm just stunned to learn that that's happening right now.
Tucker shocked when he learns that people are still giving their babies experimental mRNA technology in spite of Bobby Kennedy being in office. Look at Tucker's shocked face as he learns from a doctor that people are still being blagged, beleaguered, and bullied into taking experimental medications. Who on earth is still injecting their babies with that stuff? What's going on? Well, these babies being sacrificed at the altar of this peculiar new faith. Surely we can awaken. Why would we not awaken? Well, it's because of people in media that are still telling outrageous lies, that were too slow to tell the truth, that advocated essentially for companies like Pfizer and Moderna that we knew for some time were ragtag, ragamuffin vagabonds on the con all day long. We knew that for some time, didn't we? Like Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson. Didn't Johnson have to do a bunch of out-of-court settlements because their baby powder, that's right, baby powder was causing cancer. What's going on with these elites? They're either trying to have sex with babies, inject them with mercury, or give them cancer. Where do these people get off? Let me know in the chat what you think about these people. Let me know how we're going to oppose them. Are we going to just lay down and take this? Should we just line up our kids for them? Whether it's Dan Norris, innocent till proven guilty, innocent till proven with corroborating evidence, but he's been arrested for being on the nonce. And we hear too many stories about this, don't we? About people in political power being sexually compromised, about being paedophiles. Let me know in the comments and chat if you've noticed that. Let me know in the comments and chat what you think about it, where you think it's coming from, where you think it's going. And most important of all, what are we going to do about it? You saw Tucker's shocked face. You know that a crack has appeared in the fortress because now there's men like Jay Bhattacharya, brilliant man. Marty Makary, brilliant man. Bobby Kennedy, brilliant man. Dr. Oz, wonderful man. These men are now doing what they can, advised by the likes of Aaron Siri, Callie Means, excellent people that are equipped to oppose the level of endemic global corruption that we've been facing. But the fight's just began. You can't rely on politicians. Even if you love Donald Trump can only do so much. Think about the dark and insidious powers that must surround Mar-a-Lago like a curious fog. No wonder he's always on that golf course. He needs a breath of fresh air, don't he? It's down to you. It's down to me. We have to awaken immediately together. Do you not feel the urgency? Have you not seen the sign of the times? Let me know what you think about that in the comments and the chat. Here's the former FDA head, Scott Gottlieb. He's now... He used to work, can you believe this? He used to work at the FDA, Scott Gottlieb. Let me know in the comments and chat where you think he works now. Let me know where you think he works now. It's going to really blow your mind. Scott Gottlieb used to work at the FDA. Now, somehow he's managed to get himself a job at Pfizer. Almost as if Pfizer, the FDA, Moderna, mainstream media, government, state, all might be involved in something together. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get labelled a conspiracy theorist, although I've been labelled worse in recent days, but it seems to me something's going on. Here's Scott Gottlieb saying that the Maha movement is fundamentally anti-vax. And what if it is anti-vax? Why would you be pro-vax after the crazy events since 2019?
A lot of chronic diseases are a manifestation of infectious disease. I mean, we look at all the emerging data. I had a B-cell lymphoma that when they sequenced it, it had Epstein-Barr virus in it.
I briefly appeared in the Munsters as Eddie Munster. As a matter of fact, I was the son, peculiarly, of a vampire and a Frankenstein. Yet, nevertheless, I grew up to be a kind of wolf boy, like a little Eddie Munster wolf boy. And I don't know, I've not let it affect me. I just enjoy being a sort of peculiar little wolf boy. Scott Gottlieb, I'm having a good time. I'm working at Pfizer,
And if I had never gotten Epstein-Barr virus, I would never have gotten cancer. And now there's links between Epstein-Barr virus and multiple sclerosis, where I think the data is very convincing. So I think a lot of chronic debilitating disease.
I don't want you to be thinking with my hairlines creeping down my forehead like a curtain of some description, eventually consuming my eyes, like a spike protein entering as a muscular injection through the arm, but eventually finding its way to the lining of the heart, or the spike protein entering every single cell of the body. I don't want you to reflect too long on the fact that the coronavirus had particles and compounds within it that are impossible to generate and create in nature. At least we can't prove or demonstrate how they've been created in nature, leaving us to the conclusion that possibly they were created in a laboratory. Oh no, my fringe, my bangs, they're nearly all the way down! Rumble just launched the first anti-aging coffee. And no, it's not brewed in Fauci's lab. This will make you younger without the side effects of, Wuhan. This is not made in Wuhan. Clan, yes. Lab, no. A 1775 dropped 1,000 longevity bundles. Most of them were sold in seconds after freedom-loving folk like you rushed in. It was like it was the toilet paper of 2020. Remember those days, kids? They extended for sale and I've added a few more. Now it's the final push. I don't like having final push so close to the word of toilet paper, innit? 'Cause you start thinking like... the lip curler. Once it's gone, it's gone. For $99, you're getting $250 in value. 2 bags of longevity coffee infused with CA-AKG to support cellular health and reduce biological age. Yes, they're selling biological age tests soon, so you can prove to your mates you're biologically younger than your vegan cousin Chad. Plus an ultra-rare peaberry roast that makes up less than 5% of global crops. Every dollar you spend gets you 1 entry to win the old Cybertruck list. We're still pushing that thing. And $30,000 of cash. That's 99 entries locked in. With less than a month left, this bundle guarantees you a real shot. Head to 1775coffee.com/brand and grab yours before the last bundle's gone.
Look, I think that the secretary's tapped into a lot of concern among consumers that general health isn't good in this country, that diet has a very important nexus to our health, and that healthful opportunities, especially eating opportunities, aren't available to every consumer. Not everyone can go shop at Whole Foods. And, we have competed in this country. Food companies compete on portion size and taste.
An interesting casual remark there. Not everyone can shop at Whole Foods. Well, what's the point of government? Isn't the point of government then to manage economies and to manipulate the conditions to the benefit of the citizens of that nation? Let me know in the comments and chat if you agree with that. Like, don't you think that everyone should be basically eating organic food? Oh, it's too expensive. Do you know that that's not a coincidence? Do you know there's reasons for that? Do you know that when they needed to prove that pesticides weren't bad for you, even though they, and when I say they, I mean this sort of big agriculture, just for want of a better term. When they needed to prove that, do you know what they did? It's quite brilliant. I admire them for it. This is something I learned from someone that's working at the HHS right now, as a matter of fact. Jim O'Neill. To show that pesticides weren't bad for you, they ran a bunch of tests, I believe at Stanford, although you can check that for yourself. Well, what they did is they compared organic fruit to fruit that had been grown with pesticides. And do you know how they managed to come up with the ready and waiting headline that you better believe was publicized worldwide right afterward to assuage the fears of people that were concerned that pesticides could be linked to cancer? They said fruit that's been treated with pesticides and organic fruit have the same vitamin and nutritional levels. Well, that's an interesting thing to test for. Because no one's tested whether or not pesticides cause cancer, but the message you've received are organic fruit isn't any more high in vitamin C than pesticide-treated fruit, for example. By framing the question you frame the answer. So pay attention to where you're getting your information from and what the agenda and intentions of those people could be. If, for example, you want to sell a bunch of fruit that's got pesticides on it because your entire business model is dependent on that, then the clinical trials that you're going to sponsor and fund are going to prove that pesticides treated fruit has as much vitamins in it as organic fruit. But do they run a test, for example, to see if it's in any way carcinogenic? What are the long-term side effects of treating it? What's the effects on the soil? What's the effect on nature? Who's paying for those tests? Ironically, you are paying to keep these people in power. You are paying to run their wars. You are paying to fund their whores. You are the wallet. You are the John. Whether you like it or not, they've got you in their hock and in their pocket, and you will remain there unless you access a more powerful force. Thankfully, that is available to us all now. Let's go back to that guy from the Munsters, little Eddie Wolfgang, I think his name is.
And packaging and not the healthfulness of their foods, largely because they can't make qualified health claims on food labels. I think there's a lot we can do to improve that. I think it requires a lot of complex policymaking, which I haven't really seen evidence of yet. But I do worry that a lot of the anti-vax sentiment, or a lot of this kind of movement, is really an anti-vax movement, and some of the MAHA stuff, for some people, is just the wrapping around what is really a much more deliberate anti-vax campaign.
It's just people like being anti-vax for no reason. Carrefour says, start your victory garden today. Yes, that's what we should be doing. We should be taking back our power in every single way possible. When do we hand over our power to these organizations and these regulatory bodies? I'll tell you when. It's when the 13 colonies threw off the British. Turns out that was a pretty good idea, actually, in the United States. You know, the jury's still out. It seems like a pretty good country. But the point of it was meant to be that you were not tyrannized and controlled by an unresponsive and tyrannical centralized authority. In the instance of the Founding Fathers, the authority they were trying to throw off was the King of England. Now, things are a little bit different. And there are different sets of powers that are not so ludicrous as to go around wearing ermine robes and crowns. In fact, you may never see them. You might not ever even know their names, but you will see their fingerprints and their hallmarks everywhere because you could simply follow the money, or you could simply observe with each new piece of legislation and regulation whether or not it grants further control to any powerful groups. And if it does, investigate them. It's too much for any one person to do. It's probably too much for thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people to do. But if all of us do it, which is what's required, if all of us do it, which is what's required, for all of us to awaken, for all of us to reject authority and to find novel and brilliant ways of opposing, firstly by becoming fully autonomous, being able to run our own communities, grow and make our own food, protect our own people, stand up to corruption, and demand of the people that may be unconsciously participating in tyranny, members of the police force in the United Kingdom, for example, or members of government or even the military in your country, for people to awaken to the fact that we are already free, that we are already bound by the highest authority imaginable, and that we needn't yield to any other authority. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and the chat, because this is time for us to awaken and to claim that the Maha movement is anti-vax. It's ridiculous. People aren't just anti-vax in the same way that people support Tottenham or the Phillies or whoever your jam is. People are anti-vax because we were lied to about vaccinations, and there's been insufficient clinical trials about the efficacy and consequences, side effects and symptoms of vaccines and vaccine injuries, and we do know that they've been granted legal indemnity in a way that isn't possible or plausible for any other medicine. So you'd be dumb, straight up dumb, not to investigate that. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think. They want you dumb, baby. They want you dumb, empty, hollow, and malleable. They won't rest till you are compliant vessels and vassals fit only to hold their false light. But we're not going to allow that here. Not over on Rumble. We are opposed to such things. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.